Gold Rush back in your faces on the Gold Rush Crypto Daily. Pi Day is supposed to be a celebration, right? Balloons, virtual cake, the whole shebang. But this year, things took a turn faster than a flash crash. We saw a massive Pi price drop, and a lot of pioneers were left wondering, what in the blockchain just happened? Let's get to the bottom of this Pi Day plot twist. Today, we're not just dissecting why Pi's price took a nosedive when we expected fireworks. We're also digging into the history books to understand why Pi might never reach those hyped-up $100 dreams again. This is a double dose of Pi reality, so grab your helmets, crypto fam, because we're about to go on a wild ride. Before we unravel this Pi price puzzle, make sure you smash that like button. If you're a Pi pioneer or just love a good crypto mystery, subscribe to the channel for more unfiltered crypto truth, and hit that notification bell so you're always in the know. Let's get into this Pi price plunge. Alright, Pi Network community, let's talk about the elephant in the digital room. Pi Day, March 14th, 2025, usually a moment for cheers, and maybe even some hopium about the price. But this year, bam! A massive sell-off hit, catching so many of us pioneers completely off guard. Instead of that long-awaited price surge, we saw Pi's value take a sharp tumble, sending shockwaves through the entire ecosystem. Trust me, my DMs were blowing up. This downturn has sparked some serious concerns and debates, especially among those who were expecting some big market-moving announcements. So, what exactly triggered this drastic sell-off? Was it just the usual crypto roller coaster, or were there some deeper issues at play here? Let's break down the key factors that contributed to this unexpected decline, and what it could mean for the future of Pi. One of the biggest reasons for this Pi Day price drop seems to be the Pi Core team's KYC, or Know Your Customer cleanup process. In their effort to build a more secure and compliant network, millions of unverified accounts were either removed or had their Pi holdings invalidated. Now, while I understand the need for a secure and trustworthy ecosystem, I can also see why this caused a lot of frustration. Imagine spending years tapping that little lightning bolt, only to see your balance vanish due to KYC issues. Many of these affected individuals, worried about further restrictions, likely panicked and rushed to sell whatever Pi they had left before facing more hurdles. This sudden flood of Pi onto the market created massive selling pressure, which inevitably drove the price down. While the KYC process is a necessary step for long-term sustainability, the way it was handled definitely seems to have contributed to this Pi Day crash. Another major factor seems to be unmet expectations. Leading up to Pi Day, the hype was real. Many pioneers, myself included, were anticipating some major announcements, maybe the long-awaited open Mainnet launch, big partnerships with major businesses, or even listings on top-tier crypto exchanges like Binance or Coinbase. The community was buzzing with excitement, with many believing that March 14th, 2025, would be a defining moment for Pi's journey. However, the actual updates from the Pi Core team didn't quite live up to these sky-high expectations. Instead of a market-shaking revelation, the announcements were more on the technical and developmental side, focusing on continued progress rather than immediate breakthroughs. For those who were banking on a massive price surge, this was a major letdown. Disappointed investors and traders likely moved quickly to sell their holdings, creating a chain reaction of selling pressure that pushed prices even lower. While Pi's vision has always been about long-term development rather than short-term pumps, the lack of a clear timeline for the open Mainnet and other highly anticipated milestones remains a concern for many pioneers, myself included. We need some breadcrumbs, guys. Finally, we can't ignore the market uncertainty surrounding Pi. Despite its massive user base and widespread mining, Pi is still not openly traded on major cryptocurrency exchanges like Binance, Coinbase, or Kraken. This leaves Pi in what's essentially a closed-loop economy, where its value is primarily determined by community-driven transactions rather than the free market. This lack of a fully open and decentralized trading environment creates an atmosphere of uncertainty. Many crypto enthusiasts outside the Pi ecosystem remain skeptical because they can't freely buy, sell, or trade Pi on global markets. Until Pi gets listed on those major exchanges and gains full access to the open blockchain ecosystem, its price will likely continue to be volatile and largely dictated by internal market forces. For now, the lack of liquidity remains a significant challenge that needs to be addressed before Pi can truly establish itself as a widely accepted cryptocurrency. It's like being in a walled garden. The flowers might be pretty, but you can't trade them with the outside world. So, can Pi still bounce back from this Pi Day punch to the gut? I definitely think there's still potential here, but the right steps need to be taken to strengthen the ecosystem. The more businesses, merchants, and service providers that accept Pi as payment, the more valuable it becomes as a real currency. Greater adoption will lead to increased demand and hopefully more price stability. Real-world use cases are key. If Pi gains traction in major sectors like real estate, automotive sales, and digital services, it could become a serious contender in the crypto space. The Pi core team also needs to provide clearer communication and concrete timelines regarding the open Mainnet launch, exchange listings, and partnerships. This would go a long way in rebuilding trust and attracting long-term investors. And finally, ensuring that Pi meets global financial regulations will be critical for mainstream adoption and integration with traditional financial institutions. Despite this Pi Day setback, the Pi network community remains one of the most active and engaged in the crypto world. While some investors might be feeling a bit shaken, many long-term pioneers are still optimistic about Pi's future. The big question now is whether this price drop is just a temporary blip before an upward surge, or if it reveals some deeper issues that could hinder long-term growth. One thing is for sure, the future of Pi will be shaped by the commitment, vision, and belief of its community. Now, let's switch gears and talk about something else I've been seeing in the news. Why Pi Network's price previously collapsed from a high of around $100 down to the $2 range, and why it might never actually hit that hyped-up $100 mark again. This is a crucial piece of the puzzle to understand the current situation. Apparently, Pi Network's price has seen a significant pullback from its all-time high. It initially peaked at almost $3 after the open Mainnet launch in February 2025 and has since corrected. But the article I saw points out that Picoin remains significantly below that $100 IOU price that it reached back in November of last year. This might be confusing for some of you, so let me break it down. The key thing to understand is that the Pi Network IOU that was trading around $100 and the actual Pi Network token that we're seeing now are different assets. Several exchanges like Bitmart and HTX listed these Pi Network IOUs way back in 2022, as the community grew impatient waiting for the Mainnet launch. These IOUs were essentially used as placeholders or proxies for the actual Pi Network project until the Mainnet finally arrived this year. HTX, whose IOU token peaked at that crazy $100 mark in November, actually delisted it ahead of the Mainnet launch, and has now listed the official Pi token. So why did the price drop from that initial post-Mainnet high of around $3 down to the current levels around the $2 mark? Well, there are a few main reasons being pointed out. First, this kind of decline often mirrors the performance of most recently launched tokens. We see it all the time. A lot of hype and initial price surge followed by a correction as the market finds its equilibrium. Second, there are concerns about the future Pi coin token unlocks. Apparently, 188 million tokens were scheduled to be released this month, and over 1.4 billion are expected to be unlocked by December of this year. These token unlocks can lead to dilution, which can negatively impact the price for existing holders. Further, the price has been affected by the fact that the much-anticipated Binance listing still hasn't happened. While a lot of the community voted in favor of it in a poll, the actual listing date hasn't been confirmed. Other major exchanges like Coinbase and Unmet also haven't listed Pi yet. Finally, we can't ignore the overall trends in the crypto industry. We've seen a general downturn in the market recently, with even Bitcoin taking a hit, dropping from around $109,000 in January to around $84,000 today. Historically, most altcoins tend to follow Bitcoin's price action. Now let's address that big question: will Picoin ever hit $100? The article I read suggests that the chances are pretty slim. To reach that kind of price from the current level, Pi would need to jump by over 5,700%. That would bring its market cap to over $700 billion, and its fully diluted valuation would be a staggering $10 trillion, making it bigger than the entire current crypto market. So, while anything is possible in the wild world of crypto, hitting that $100 mark seems like a very, very long shot. Looking at the price forecast in the short term, the 2-hour chart seems to show some bearish patterns forming, like a head and shoulders and a rising wedge, which could indicate a potential further price decline, maybe even below the $1 mark. However, a move above the resistance level around $2 could invalidate this bearish outlook, so it's a volatile situation right now. Alright, crypto crew, if you found this deep dive into the Pi Day price crash and the future price potential insightful, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to the Gold Rush Crypto Daily channel for more honest and unfiltered crypto analysis. What were your thoughts on the Pi Day price action? Were you surprised? And what do you think about Pi's chances of ever hitting $100? Let's hear your opinions in the comments below. Thanks for tuning in to the Gold Rush Crypto Daily. Be sure to check out our other videos for more crypto news and market analysis. Until next time, this is Gold Rush signing off. Stay safe, stay informed, and remember, always do your own research. Disclaimer. Please remember that this is not financial advice. Cryptocurrency investments are highly volatile, and you could lose money. Always conduct your own thorough research before making any investment decision.